not anyone new has come into the station. It's an unconscious gesture, but a telling one. One that they've noticed. They exchange glances. "Looking for someone?" says the woman. "No." My attention moves from the man in the blue toque who's just walked in, the man who was sitting near the middle of the bus we were both on, and snags on the agent's latex gloves. I begin to imagine where those gloved hands might be going shortly, which cavity they might start with first. I'm sweating now, despite the chill in the air. The supervisor steps forward and speaks for the first time. His voice is deep and smooth, like the singer of a forgettable jazz band. He looks over my passport. "Nora Watts," he says, drawing out the syllables. Is he trying to be sexy? If he is, it isn't working. "Did you find what you needed in Detroit, Ms. Watts?" "I found that my father is as dead as he's ever been. Life moves on, and so should I." "What's wrong with your voice?" The supervisor notices for the first time how rough it is, how it sounds like it's been scraped up from my diaphragm and shoved through my throat. "Laryngitis." "You say you live in Vancouver, but you're going to Toronto. Why there, instead of back home?" The supervisor takes over the questioning now, which is a plus. He seems more reasonable to me right about now, given the choice between him and the woman with the gloves. And I'm starting to enjoy the jazz voice. "My daughter," I say. "I'm going to see my daughter." The real question here is, will my daughter want to see me? They step aside to decide my fate. I try to look more like a fine and upstanding citizen, though my wardrobe and shabby appearance are telling a different story. That maybe I'm not so fine, definitely not upstanding, and it's possible I don't even have laryngitis. I look like a woman on the run from her enemies. A fair assessment because that's exactly what I am. Part of me wants to tell them that my father's bloodline goes back to this land before their ancestors even had the thought to come here. But the other part reminds me that my mother was an immigrant from the Middle East, and I may not want to pull that particular thread right now. A baby in the waiting room begins to cry, putting everyone on edge. The baby's brother, who looks to be about 6, tries to get their mother's attention, but she's too busy searching through her bag for something to distract her crying child. Toke Man gives the maybe 6-year-old a chummy smile. As the infant continues to bawl, I stare at the gloves and the female agent's long, thick fingers, imagining where they might go if I'm not persuasive enough. In the end, they let me back through to my country of birth with my cavities intact. Back on the bus, some of my body heat returns. The bus heaves into motion, and I leave Detroit behind. Finally, with the greatest relief, I watch the scenery fly by outside the window. Oh, Canada. I relax, thinking I'm in the clear because the Ambassador Bridge is in the rearview mirror. The relaxation doesn't last for very long. Toke Man is sitting directly behind the 6-year-old's mother, where he's been ever since we first boarded the bus in America. She and the infant have the seat in front of him. The 6-year-old is across the aisle. Whenever the boy turns to look at his mom, he sees Toke Man. With the bus only a quarter full, the man's choice of seating is unthinkable. Nobody wants to travel in such close proximity to a young family. Nobody but this guy. At the border, I was too far away to hear what he was saying when his passport was checked, but I know whatever it was, he wasn't being honest. His posture was relaxed, his smile a little too easy.